Welcome back to Meet the Drapers.
Hey, so let's hear from our next entrepreneur. Our next entrepreneur is Chase from Credder. Chase, give us your pitch.
Today, Credder is the world's leading content review platform, and we're on a mission to restore consumer and advertiser trust in the news industry. I'm sure you're all very familiar with the record level of distrust in online news. It's probably something you've dealt with in your own lives. But what you might not know is how it is now hurting advertising revenue on content platforms and for digital advertisers. They don't want their ad placements to show up next to things like fake news, disinformation, or misinformation. Credder is often referred to as the Rotten Tomatoes for news, and this actually makes a lot of sense because we allow verified journalists to rate individual articles under the critic score and the general public to rate articles under the public score. And all of these different article reviews aggregate into overall credibility scores for each article, author, and news website. Today, Credder is aggregating reviews through our 4 live products. We have our Credder.com website, our Chrome browser extension, our Twitter Curator app where we can actually scrape reviews right off of Twitter, and our iOS app. And all of these reviews are feeding Credder's proprietary content credibility database. And so Credder makes money by charging an annual licensing fee to our customers for access to the database. And our target licensing customers include digital advertisers and ad agencies, social media platforms, search engines, web browsers, and news aggregators.
Who are the people that are able to judge whether this is true or not?
It's an aggregate of...
Yeah, we're essentially crowdsourcing content reviews. We're the first of its kind to
No, but
allow.
you had a group that you were giving more credence to.
So verified journalists rate under a separate score, which is called the critic score.
So who verifies a journalist?
We have a way of, we have some basic critic requirements, but basically they just need to be actively creating 3 articles per month at a publication today. We also outsource our verification to Twitter's checkmark.
So Chase, I love what you're doing. There's nobody who trusts anything they see, hear, or read less than me. And that's a real problem to know what to do. I'm not sure I'll ever trust a for-profit organization to bring me the truth. But the 3 things I always want to know about somebody who's sharing some truth with me is, who did you vote for the last 10 years? Secondly, who's paying you what over the last 10 years? And 3, who have you donated to over the last 10 years? And then I can kind of triangulate and figure out where your bias is.
I don't think that that's what he's talking about, though. I think he's talking about journalists that have to do fact checks.
Yeah, but I'd like to know the journalist.
There's no such thing about a fact is a fact.
If I can interrupt, I can help clarify this. So Credder is actually the only example in the world right now where we are keeping track of people's reviews, which are always transparently visible and open to the public and journalists on individual articles, authors, and outlets. That's all transparently visible on our platform because we're basically like a Rotten Tomatoes for news, where Credder is never telling anyone what to trust or what content to engage with. We are simply creating free and open review tools so that news consumers can connect in real time from anywhere and review the content that they're already reading.
And there are no bots. There are no bots allowed to inflate.
No bots, no black boxes. Every single review is accounted for and transparently visible. You understand exactly what goes into each score.
And what do you need the money for? It sounds like you kind of got it off and running. Are you getting revenue at all?
Yeah, so we just launched our database license in January. We've secured our first 3 annual contract agreements. We're just finishing up the trial period there, but we have those annual license agreements set, and we have 5 different programmatic advertisers reviewing their agreements right now, as well as 1 major web browser.
What's all that going to add up to in revenue for 2022?
Expecting $2.4 million in annual recurring revenue run rate by the end of the year.
And so why take any money? If you got all that revenue coming in.
So we're actually in the middle of our pre-seed raise. Our big problem right here is that to date we've been bootstrapped and we've been building product and building this review platform that is really kind of a revolutionary technology. And now we're transitioning from more of a sales and marketing operation as we start to sell access to the database. And so we need to make more marketing, sales, and customer support hires to really get into market faster.
Terrific. Well, thank you so much for being on Meet the Drapers. It was great. I'm looking forward to seeing great things out of Credder. So, what did all of you think of Credder? Sounds like cheddar, but that was that was the pizza one.
That's cheese.
Dad, what did you think of Credder?
I make up my mind about the articles that I read and the newspapers that I get, and I really think I would, not listen to Credder. I make up my own mind, so maybe I'm too old.
He uses a straight up New York Times that you hold in your hands.
Yeah, and Walter Cronkite was one of Dad's
those were
buddies,
his two things. Yeah.
and that was always the way it was.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
The way it
That was
Yeah.
the way it was. Polly, what did you think of Credder?
I think it's so necessary right now in today's times, and I think it's
Why?
because unlike you, I get the New York Times and 27,000 everything else, every other social media. For kids growing up in this generation, it is really hard to formulate who you are, what your opinions are, and who should be trusted. I think it's a vital thing for now.
Scott, tell me, what did you think of Credder?
Trying to solve a very virtuous and needed, I'm with Polly, people don't know, and especially the young kids don't know. I mean, there's so much coming at us. I'm very skeptical that a .com, a for-profit company, will not be bought, and therefore the truth can change. And so, it's all random, and I just don't know how you do this. I don't know how you do this in this day and age, unless it's a not-for-profit and you get to knowing who's saying what, and I know their biases. Everybody has a bias, and aggregating biases doesn't change fact.
But it sounds like with this, he is basically just, he said every single article gets, you can see the reference to it, and you can see how it came to, you can see how it got its rating, not on facts.
I think this is interesting. Of course, I've seen 5 that are just like it who have all died.
Oh.
And so I'm trying to figure out whether their model is the one that everybody's going to be attracted to, and it's going to be a challenge. Okay, so this is interesting because when there's this much passion around a business, it's usually good news. Terrific. So now we've got to decide which of these 4 great companies is moving forward on to the semifinals. So let's bring on the entrepreneurs, and we'll go through and see what the crystal ball has in store. Well, thank you so much. These were some of the best, most interesting presentations we've ever seen on the show. It's an exciting time, and I really like your choice of reading. Very nice. I'm glad everybody's reading the
Just
Startup
coincidental?
Hero. Only one of you will go forward to the semifinals, but I want you all to keep in touch because as businesses grow, they get bigger and more interesting and better, and we may change our minds as time goes on. Chase with Credder, you're hitting a real nerve. You're hitting sort of a third rail. I've seen 5 companies before this that have tried and failed to do something similar. How do you keep your own bias out of this? Twitter all of a sudden had its own bias, so did Facebook. How are you not going to be affected by an advertiser who comes up and says, I'm going to give you this much money, but you're going to have to give us slightly better biases. There are going to be things that are going to change, and being in a business, it's going to be interesting. Vignesh with Canvas. We were a little confused as to where this was really going and what your true skill was going to be. What makes you uniquely qualified to run this business? What makes this business so special that customers are just going to fly to it? Is this really the way creators are going to make money? We were a little concerned about whether this was just a feature and not really a business or not really an industry changer. And then we got Alex with Bauza. We had differing opinions on how that thing tastes. It was delicious to me. This is just one of a lot of things that go into that freezer rack, and you gotta really sell hard. You gotta get that thing everywhere. And also there may be a cultural mismatch. The reason I like it is because I love the Chinese food, and I love the American food, and I love this sort of fusion thing that's happening. It's a peace thing between those two countries, and you're kind of bringing them together. And I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. But margins are low in that business. Cash flow can be a real issue. You got to turn them very quickly to make it work. And then we got Tom with Magnetic 3D. That was an extraordinary image, and I think I had seen it before and was not blown away by it. But now seeing it, I'm thinking this could be really something special and something I'd want in my living room, as long as you can get content there. And maybe you start on the content side by going after marketing departments and their budgets, and then it starts to spread and people see it in different conferences, and then content starts coming, and then Pauly makes a movie that goes in 3D, and then it becomes a big deal. And so we really struggled, as you can see, that we've got pluses and minuses, and it was a real struggle to figure out where it came out. And so we have to go to the crystal ball because we were stumped. So I'm gonna need everybody's power. You know, Scott, if you could like put your hands up like this a little bit so I can get it from the crystal ball. I'm feeling very, you know, whether it's tasty or feely or is it gonna change facts, or is it gonna, you know, is it gonna be magnetic?
You better hurry up or I gotta go to the bathroom.
It's a little confused, but I think it's come out very clearly now. Magnetic 3D, boom! You are moving on. You get the $50,000 investment, and you are moving on to the semifinals. Congratulations,
Thank you
Tom.
so much, Tim.
Thank you all. Great to have you on Meet the Drapers!
Yes, that was awesome. That was like completely unexpected. I had no idea that's what was gonna happen after today's show, and I'm super excited to be going on to the semifinals. It makes perfect sense. I'm reading the back of Tim's book right here, and it says he's crazy enough to invest in all of these things, and he's always first. So I'm excited that he's one of the first in Magnetic 3D getting this technology into the home market. It's gonna be awesome.
Improve the future with our tech, AI, VR, Bitcoin is the best. We'll build and work and grow with you, having fun along the way. We'll change the world for better. Meet the Drapers.